Morning. Now let us start the second part of the Unit 3, the black aeroplane. The moon was coming up. Behind me, the stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky was clear. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France, England. So he was going to England from France. He is the pilot who is narrating the whole story. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. So after going back to England, he would be with his family and it would be his holiday time. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris control, Dakota DS 088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Over. That is the way one talks on, say, uh, on the radio transistor. Now, the voice from the radio answered me immediately. From the Paris control room, somebody answered him immediately. DS 008, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degree west now. DS 008, over. So after you finish speaking, you have to say over so that the other person can speak if he wants to do anything, say anything. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and the last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degree west towards England as instructed by the Paris control room. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. Paris was about kilometers behind me, so he had traveled, say, 150 kilometers from there. When I saw the clouds, storm clouds, they were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted to take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. Round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm. Then, in the black cloud quite near to me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the. I could see the pilots turn towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. Follow me. He was saying, follow me. So the pilot of the other aeroplane was asking him to follow him. He knows that I'm lost, I thought. He is trying to help me. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north and easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now, now there was was only enough fuel in in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. After 5 or 10 minutes, the fuel would get exhausted. I was starting to feel frightened again. But then he started to go down, and I followed to the storm. Suddenly, a straight line of light in front of me. It was runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. I landed and was not sorry to Dakota near the control tower. I went and asked the woman in the control center where I was and who was the pilot, who the other pilot was. I wanted strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in this storm? No other aeroplane was the only one I could see on the radar. So, who helped me to arrive there safely without the compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? And there the lesson ends. So, an unknown identity entity helped him to reach his destination and he could make it safe to the place where he had to. Question answer.